Yeah. So on behalf of Bamboo Society of India, extend a very, very warm welcome to all the viewers this morning. And my special thanks and special welcome is to all the four speakers. Today's subject is bamboo cultivation, large-scale utilization of energy pellets and its marketing. I extend a very, very warm and hearty welcome to Dr. N. Barathi, Founder Director, Gromor Biotech. He's also, fortunately, the National Governing Council member of Bamboo Society of India. I also welcome Mr. Aman Kwatra. He's a serial entrepreneur, expert in bioenergy and biofuels. I also welcome Mr. Rahul Biyani. He's the third speaker. He's the MD, Sri Salasar Natural Engineering. He's a biomass expert. And last but not least, I am very happy to also welcome Dr. L. Venkataram Reddy Garu. He is the Commissioner of Horticulture and Sericulture, Government of Telangana, and he's also Director of State Bamboo Mission, National Bamboo Mission for Telangana State. So very, very warm welcome. We are all waiting eagerly to listen to you. Actually, what's happening is a lot of people, especially after Government of India took a decision that biomass shall be a part of the fuel for especially the power industries, the coal-based power industries, and the objective is to commence investment of it to a certain extent. A lot of people are coming forward, though the main aim was on utilization of agri-based biomass, but then there is enough, very good scope for providing to a certain extent. To some extent, there is very good scope for bamboo and the bamboo biomass, as we know, bamboo charcoal or activated charcoal or nano charcoal, and as such, the biomass in view of its superior qualities, it's much better than the other biomass, as I understand. So it's my request that kindly be attentive in this program. I request all the audience, there's a lot of information that is going to come through. And I would be very happy if some light is thrown on what should be the density of plantations, because being an agriculture graduate, we know that there's always an optimum spacement or optimum density per unit area, which will give the maximum yield. So that needs to be kept in mind, including, and we need to keep in mind the quality of the product as well. What should be the thickness when we start harvesting, and whether that would be suited for this industry as such, and then the economics of it, because there were apprehensions. One Mr. Lepcha was who has been into bamboo, the retired senior forest officer. He was apprehensive when I was discussing with him that whether we can get that kind of rate from the power industries. So these are the issues which they're clarified, and then if there is a there's going to be good demand, and it's going to be economical. I'm sure this will pick up, and it will be a great boon for the farmers. Even if they plant on their boundaries, I'm sure it will be like an insurance that every year they'll get something, whether the main crop fails or passes. So that's what it is. So I request Mr. Ranganath, our Secretary cum Treasurer, Bamboo Society of India, to kindly introduce all the speakers today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman Sir. So we'll start with our first speaker, Dr. Barathi. Dr. Barathi needs no introduction. Is the Bhishma Mahapita of bamboo community. Thank you, sir. You've already done a lot of work in bamboo. Our Chairman sir has already introduced you shortly, but I would say we are very proud to have you as our National Governing Council member, and you have played a very critical role in bamboo sector across India. So over to you, sir, for the first topic, sir.
Good morning to all of you. My sincere thanks to Bamboo Society of India to having given this kind of a good opportunity to discuss about the most current relevant topic as far as India is concerned, especially when we are looking at carbon sequestration, reduction in global warming effect, and reaching our goal of reducing the carbon dioxide by 3 billion ton. All these, these are all this is the time. And bamboo happens to be the best plant among all the trees and plants and plantations. Because for a simple fact that they grow at a very, very high speed, highest speed, and able to sequester the carbon, store it in the mass, and make it available as an energy, what was available through the sun, put it into the biomass, and that's what is going to come into a pellet. Now, we have divided ourselves into 4 people to give this one. I will be talking more onto the cultivation aspect of the bamboo, how we can make bamboo suitable for this purpose, while Mr. Aman will speak on the machineries and his experience with many clients with whom he is interacting for purchase and the marketing and the potential of that. And Mr. Rahul, who is running his own biomass pellet unit for the last 6 years. He is hands-on experienced person. Nobody could be better than all of us. And he will be able to share his experience and how he has been working with all other pellets, and now bamboo, how it's performing for him. Then comes our own Commissioner of Horticulture, Bamboo Mission Director, Dr. Venkataram Reddy. He will be speaking on how they're going to make it available to the farmer. He himself has grown bamboo in a demonstration plantation in Telangana. Plus, he has been installing the pelleting machines there now, and he is going to organize 2 to 3 lakh acres of bamboo cultivation for pellet making. He's going to be the first person to do in India in such a big way. I requested him. He was very kind enough to come. So that's the reason we put him as the last person to give out all the real fact about what's going to happen. And he's interacting not only at the state level, at the CM level, at the agriculture minister level, even at the center. He is taking all the supports and trying to find out the best means for the farmers. There are a lot of farmers are here in our group, and all are going to get benefited from his experience, what is planned now to do in the next 2 to 3 years to reach 3 lakh acres of cultivation of bamboo, only for pellet. Okay, with this, I will get into my presentation to show you what we are going to do. Let me.
So you are a co-host now. You should be able to share.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for now. Yeah. Yes, sir. Is my screen has come to the visibility?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We are going to talk on how do we utilize the bamboo for manufacturing energy pellets as alternative fuel resource. And I'm Dr. Barathi. I was introduced. I'm a part of Bamboo Society of India. And the bamboo, this is the bamboo which is there, which could be harvested and converted into powder into pellet, and pellet start burning and releasing the energy what is captured by the bamboo. And it is to replace the coal. This is the fundamental theme of the entire talk what you're going to do today. The energy captured by the bamboo converted into pellet to replace the energy which is already available with the coal. Now, you look at this, the recent messages, news which has come in the paper, and then last year by October, India tweaks policy to use biomass pellet in the coal-fired power plant. This is the Economic Times which covered in the last year by October. The decision was announced on this to remove the reduce the present coal consumption by 5%. That's what it says here. And the policy will be in force from October 22 onwards. And this is what the content which you should look at it. NTPC, there are a lot of companies there, just taking one company. NTPC immediately started ordering for several lakhs of tons of biomass pellets, especially for co-firing in the power plants. Fire the pellets along with the coal. This is a huge market coming up, and for which the government also released an order, a revised policy for biomass utilization for power generation, and by the Ministry of Power. And it was said, like, 5% blending should be done. And what is important today is we are using around 100 million ton of coal from this year onwards. Sorry, 1,000 million ton of coal this year onwards. And out of that, 5% this year, then it's going to go up to 10%, then it's going to go to 20% in 4 to 5 years time. So that time, even if you use 10% of that instead of 20%, 100 million ton is required. 100 million tons, if you're looking at a yield of 40 tons per acre, it will be 25 lakh acres. Let's assume that we cannot get 40 tons for everybody. Even if you're getting 20 tons per acre, then we need 50 lakh acres of bamboo cultivation just for pellet, nothing else. That is a kind of a huge market at 10% requirement. The country is going to go in 2070, 100% coal replacement is going to be done with the biomass. And at that time, you imagine how much area we need it. So more on the pellet is going to be spoken by our two other speakers, Mr. Rahul and Mr. Aman is going to speak on it. Let us go. How do you compare this? Bamboo, when you see this, bamboo is able to produce 40 tons per acre as a dry mass. It's got a 12% moisture. The bulk density is 0.4. Cellulose is 42%. Hemicellulose 24%. Lignin, which gives some more energy, which is 24%. Compared to today, rice husk is available, cotton stock is available, corn stock is available, wheat is available. All that has got a lesser energy, number one. Number two, bamboo can be harvested throughout the year. These are all seasonal. Today, the entire focus came only because of the agricultural waste which is getting burned. But they are available only on particular season. We have to collect and store it, and they start degrading in the yard. In 6 months' time, they'll degrade because the insects, fungus, and all that. Now, all these doesn't happen in this, and this is a comparison for that to know. And when it comes to energy level, bamboo, compared to all other energy like rice stock and all the wheat straw, everything put together, calorific value wise, this is 4,273 kilocalories. What is very, very interesting is the low level of ash content of 1.3 to 2%. The carbon is 48%. And all the energy comes in the ash melting point is also very favorable as compared to a rice straw, husk, and rice husk, other stocks. And this is all the comparison table. And bamboo pellet exhibit better combustion property compared to the rice straw. That's one of the reasons why we are getting into this. And if you see this, the calorific value is very high, low ash content, high grade pellets are equivalent to the woody pellet. Best fuel characteristic feature is there, high yield per acre of dry biomass. The normal paddy straw is going to get you around 2 tons maximum. Cotton stock will get you around 0.5 tons per acre, whereas bamboo will give you 40 tons per acre. And it's a sustainable source of pellet making process. And the ash fusion is very suitable for this, less amount of SOX and NOx, and suitable for a wide array of biomass pellet application, the bamboo. Now, when it comes to this project, all these will be covered by other speaker. Now, biomass pellet, if you look at what is the demand in India, and if it is going to be totally, I gave you in the beginning some numbers. Now, Indian annual consumption is 100 million tons, and government has given a legislation only 5% now. In 2024 is going to be increased to 10%, and by 2025 it will be 20%. Europe has reached already 20%. We are only just starting now. And considering this requirement, the quantum of pellet requirement is going to be 20%. Out of that, 50% is going to be from bamboo. Then we need 100 million ton per year, which will be easily 40 lakh acres of bamboo cultivation in India. So, but then bamboo is not happening today. The simple reason is it is grown wild. the yield is very low, only 0.5 tons per acre. India has got 16 million hectare of bamboo, which is number one in the world. China doing everything else from bamboo. Their area is only 5.5 million hectare. But our bamboo is wild in the forest. But when farmers are cultivating, and they are able to get somewhere around 4 to 8 tons per acre, with no agriculture methodology adapted, no improved clones are used, and wider spacing of plantation. Now, the moment when you introduce the precision farming into the bamboo, we'll be able to get easily dry ton of 40 tons, wet ton of 60 ton, dry ton of 40 tons, which is equivalent to conversion. When you convert into pellet, losing around 5%, you'll have 35 to 38 tons of pellet per acre every year. Now, conventionally, bamboo, when you grow that, it takes a lot of time. When you plant the bamboo, it grows slowly. 2 years, it comes only to your shoulder. Then third year, it grows a little taller than you. And fourth year, it becomes a tree. Then fifth year onwards, you start harvesting it. But this is a conventional way of growing bamboo cultivation. But if you want to do a modern cultivation, like a broiler chicken, how we grow broiler chicken or a Jersey cow, bamboo can be made to grow in 2 years' time by having drip irrigation, fertigation, and the right kind of a clone when you start using it. Third year onwards, we can start harvesting it. 30 months from the time of planting, you can harvest it. By harvesting this in the early stage, the bamboo is going to have only 1 to 2% ash. If you allow them to mature for 4 or 5 years, then they will have a 4 to 5% ash content. So as the age is going to increase, the ash content is going to increase, whereby the quality of pellet is going to be reducing. Now, this is a modern method of cultivation, which is slowly getting picked up now. So to do this, the bamboo need to be grown in high density, not in the low density. When I say low density, is 160 plants per acre, planted at a spacing of 15 feet by 15 feet, wait for 5 years for the first harvest. The high density plantation is plant at the spacing of 10 feet between plants, cultivate like a sugar cane, and the row crop, instead of tree crops, it will be individual rows. And the rows are completely planted to the bamboo, which are going to be 1,000 plants per acre at a spacing of 10 feet between the rows and 4 feet between the plants. The 4 feet between the plants makes the bamboo to grow in a single line. Then the bamboo is going to grow like this as a rows and rows of bamboo. And this is the aerial shot of the bamboo field. Now, to get this 40 ton, what are things you need? A good fast growing species as per the climatic condition, as per the water availability, one should look for that. And there are many species available. Then the next one is the right clone within the species. Today, we are talking only in terms of species, Tulda, Balkova, Newtons, things like Brandisi, this kind of a species or group of varieties, group of clones. We have to isolate which are good for this in terms of yield, in terms of the fiber content, in terms of diameter, all that. So once we identify the clone, then we make it available in large quantity. Conventionally, bamboo can be produced through seeds, which will have more time to mature. And if you're going for vegetative method, they'll have early way to mature the plants. And especially when you go for rhizome plants with a lot of rhizomes, it easily come to maturity and the growth. But number of plants, if you want more quantity, then you have to adapt to some of the tissue culture method by which you can make millions of plants available. When you're talking about 50 lakh acres, then we need to have such technology to produce plants. Then comes the agronomy, agriculture practice to provide enough amount of nutrient, fertilizer, water, and then it start growing. Then the plantation method of high density, which I explained at the beginning. Then comes the irrigation. Should we irrigate flood irrigation, whereby you are spending a lot of water? Instead, we can also give them water through drip mixed with a little bit of fertilizer on a monthly or weekly basis to provide, it's called fertigation. So if this is done, it's going to be good. Today, we find these kind of a lot of wild bamboos with the thorns and branches. Harvesting is very difficult, but there are today a lot of thornless bamboos are there, starting from Balkova, then Tulda, the Newtons, and then Hamiltoni. All these are going to be a different kind of plants without the thorns. So that is easy for them to do. I've been working in the bamboo for the last 17, 18 years and developed few clones. One of the clone is the Bima, which has got a thicker wall, more quantity of bamboo as compared to the regular bamboo. When it comes to the fuel characteristic of the bamboo has got a good amount of energy, as I said in the beginning, above 4,000 kilocalorie. And if you harvest early, it's going to be 1% ash content. This 1% ash content makes it very attractive among the pellets. Bamboo as a plantation, as an energy plantation, as a mass plantation, you can do it provided we have the right species and technology to grow them. This becomes a dedicated woody biomass crop. So far, bamboo is never looked at as a crop. It is only a wild plant or a border plant, but today bamboo is going to be a biomass crop. When I said in the beginning, 50 lakh acres of bamboo needed only for pellet. And the bamboo has to be grown like a sugarcane with enough water and good quantity of fertilizer. A lot of us, we think bamboo is a very stable plant. You don't need to irrigate. You don't need to put fertilizer. It's very true. You don't need to. It's like a cockroach. It can grow without any of our support. But if you provide them all this, then the character of the plant is expression is very, very high. They are able to grow like a broiler chicken. In 42 days, it will be able to ready. So then comes the tissue culture process. A small tissue, from one tissue, we can make several million plants. I've been working in this industry for the last 40 years. And today we make around 1 lakh plant, 100,000 plant every day, and being sent to 25 different countries in all the states in India. And these are all the plants process, and the plants is coming out like this. This is what exported to several countries abroad. Now it's also going to Australia, Malaysia, and many places only for energy. You know, though bamboo can make several things like furnitures, and it can make wood, it can make fabric, and so many new things are there, but still the quantum required for energy is very, very, very high. These are all the plant grown in the nursery to provide to the farmer, where it is grown for 3 months, 90 days, to a height of 1.5 to 2 feet tall. And these plants are ready for field plantation. While planting, as our chairman asked, what is the density of plantation one should follow? It should be a high density plantation with the 8 feet, 12 feet, 8 feet, 12 feet row, with the 4 feet between two plants, so that the bamboo not going to grow very big and thick. It's going to be small, but the quantity is same, 40 tons dry ton per acre per year. You'll start getting early, and the ash, because it's younger one, the ash is less, which is what is more important for a boiler where they want to use the bamboo as a pellet. For example, if you want to use a paddy straw, it's got 20% ash, and the thermal efficiency is very poor. Because of the ash, 20% ash to be removed, so much amount of heat is also going to come out along with that. Whereas here it's not that way. So 1,000 plants per acre, wait for 2.5 years for the first harvest, then you start getting 40 dry ton per acre per year. This was tested by the first energy plantation by a sugar factory in Tamil Nadu in 2010 itself. And the Commissioner of Sugar understood this process very well, and he asked them to put this into as a demonstration. And then it became very successful. In 1 year, they could see the bamboo was able to grow to this height. This is we superimpose the height of the person to know what is the total height. It comes to somewhere close to 3% and above. Land is level. It's cleared from weeds. Lines are marked for 10 feet, 12 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet. And then the trenches are made. Trenches are made so that the bamboo is going to grow as a single line of plant. And it's filled with the manure, the organic manure, and then the spacing of 12 feet is given for the first row. Then the next row is at 12 feet, 8 feet. Like this, it is repeated, and the soil is closed. The top soil is used for closing, not the bottom soil. And then the 4 feet, the plants are made to grow by providing a hole filled with organic manure. And after testing the soil for NPK, the fertilizer is applied. And after application, the plants are laid and the plants are planted. And then the plant looks like this with a drip irrigation line, and with the fertigation tank, the bamboo is able to get the fertilizer on a regular interval whenever the plant needs it. Now, this is the grown plant, planted and grown for 1 month. This is grown in Sarjapur in Bangalore, where the rainfall is 700 to 800 millimeter. It's on a dry month, it is planted with the drip irrigation line. I turn the camera to show you the 12 feet gap. The 12 feet gap get reduced to, getting closed in 4 months time. From first month to 4 months, they form the wall of bamboo. Because the bamboo starts germinating, the shoots germinates along the trenches, not in between the trenches. Now, they become a wall of bamboo in 8 months. In 12 months, they completely cover. All the sunlight is captured. No light is wasted. Light falls on the leaf, converted into photosynthetic energy stored in the stem. And that's what we convert into pellet. Whether it is 8 feet, 12 feet, completely covered in 1 year itself. So 4,000 square meter in 1 acre, completely covered without any space left out. And this is what happens. The plant grows and they become a line of crop. Harvesting. When it comes to the growth of bamboo, when it is over, one can harvest manually, or you can also harvest mechanically. This is a manual harvest where people cut the bamboo pole, which is 2 years plus it's harvested. 1 year less it is left in the field itself. Again, it's harvested next year, for which it is left back. Now, these are all the harvested poles and the fully harvested bamboo. But days to come, we may not have enough labor. Today, we have sufficient people working in the farm. Even that also, old people are there. Something like 50 years old, 60 years old people only working. Youngster, we don't find in agriculture at the moment. Days to come, another 10, 15 years, we are not going to have people. So harvesting is going to be most difficult. So for which we can go for clear-cut harvest. This is a clear-cut harvest where the bamboo is cut completely. And generally, it is not recommended in India by our forester. But then this is getting practiced now in the world for the last 16, 17 years. I happened to visit Brazil, where I saw around 2.5 lakh acres of bamboo is getting harvested like this every once in 3 years. Here in India, because of our clones and climate and the sunlight, we can harvest every once in 2 years. The bamboo will come back. When you harvest completely, in 2 weeks, they come back like this. In 4 weeks, it is better like this. The growth, still no watering is done. And another 2 more weeks, 6 weeks, they produce more number of shoots from the culms, which is cut at 1 to 1.5 feet from the ground. Now, these branches, everything is there. Now, this will keep growing. In another 2 years' time, it's ready for complete harvest. So this takes around 2 years to get harvested. This is done more than around 13 years back itself in Tamil Nadu, and it is getting practiced. After it is cut, it is going to be chipped in the field itself. You can see the Bima bamboo is getting chipped with a Vermeer chipping machine. It's a farmer's fee. Next to that, the bamboo is collected, cut, and they brought to those chipping machine, and it is along with the leaf. They just put everything inside, and it is chipping into pieces. And this is what goes to pellet industry, who are going to convert this into a pellets. Now, to grow them like this, we need to have good quantity of fertilizer, because the bamboo is sucking a lot of nutrient fertilizer to a level of 1% of the body is a phosphorus, 0.1% is phosphorus, and 0.4% is 0.7% is nitrogen, 0.8% is potash. And that is what getting depleted from the soil. So slowly it sucks in the first year, second year a little more, third year more. So it is converted into urea, DAP, and MOP for Indian condition. And this is the fertilizer the bamboo removes from the soil. The moment you start giving them on a regular basis, not once in a year, it should be done every month, or possibly through drip irrigation every week, the plant is able to really grow at more than the expected yield it will be able to produce. So then the bamboo reaches to this height. So please believe me, bamboo is going to be the next disruptive technology in the world for producing energy at the same time sequestering the carbon dioxide. With this, I invite the next speaker to speak. I come out of this. Mr. Aman should be able to tell us on the machineries available and what is the kind of a market available, and you'll be able to take us the journey through the pellet side. Mr. Aman, please.
Good morning, everyone. I just share my screen. So is my presentation visible?
Yes, very much.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, I'm very thankful to the Bamboo Society of India and Dr. Barathi for giving us this opportunity. So we are working in the area of bioenergy crops, especially bamboo and bioenergy plantations. And Dr. Barathi is one of our mentors who has supported us for the last 2 years to actually make the progress, and we are now talking to a lot of large corporations in the country who are actually very interested in using bamboo for their boilers. So myself, Aman Kwatra, I am a co-founder of Vikalpa Biosolution. I'm an IIT Delhi alumni. I'm working in this area of biofuels and bioenergy, especially pellets, for more than 10 years. And have actually converted more than 25 industries from fossil fuels to pellets. And now is the time that pellet industry is growing at a unprecedented rate. And I think it's a right time for people to be part of this industry because the opportunities are growing each and every day. So what are pellets? So basically, pellets are the organic matter or biomass which is compressed at a very high density to make pellets. Wood pellets are majorly the most common pellet fuel and are generally formed through compact sawdust. Now, pellets have been globally recognized as carbon neutral, green and clean fuel. Japan, after the Fukushima nuclear incident, they have actually converted all their thermal plants to the pellets, and they are one of the major consumers of pellet in the world. And pellets are most versatile, and they are easy to place coal, husk, electricity, diesel, furnace oil, natural gas, LPG. And currently, with the increase in fossil fuel prices, whether we talk about diesel, we talk about natural gas, we talk about coal, in last 2 years, we have seen the diesel prices today are around 100 to 105 rupees in any of the city. The pellets are very economical. They make a very, very good economic sense for companies to shift to it. So we have worked with companies like Maruti, we have Haldiram and PepsiCo, Patanjali, who have now shifted from coal and other fuels to pellets.
So,
No.
Mr. Aman, can you make it full screen?
It's not showing full screen.
Can
Sorry.
you move into slide?
Can you make it full screen, please? Please, can you make it full screen?
I'll try to do, sir. I've actually see.
It is not in slideshow mode.
Okay, I'll just a second, sir. And just a second, I'll try to do it, sir.
Yes, thank you. That's better.
Is it now? Is it full screen, sir, now?
So it is in full screen, but you need to move to slideshow mode.
So from where to do? No, I've actually done on my PPT, but I'm not. Yeah.
On your PPT, you can see the menu on top.
PPT, I've actually, I have actually done that on the my PPT, sir. But it's not reflecting in the Zoom.
Sir, I believe you are sharing the presentation, but the whatever your slide mode you converted, right? It's not showing to us.
Yeah, that's what's happening, sir. Let me try again, sir. Is it good now, sir?
Yes.
Yeah.
Super.
Super.
Yes. So, yeah, just a second. So if you talk about how we define pellets, so there are a few technical specifications because that are very key to understand how one can define pellets. So one is the diameter. So generally the diameters of a pellet which is prevalent in India is 6 mm for commercial applications. When we talk about commercial applications, that means cook stoves, small industries, and for large industries, it's generally more than 8 or 10 mm. And secondly, as Dr. Bharti has mentioned, ash is a very, very important characteristic to define the quality of pellet. Lower the ash, the better is the heat delivery and better is the quality of the pellet. Moisture level should be optimum, should be around 8%. Bulk density is very crucial for boilers because the material handling system is defined or is dependent on the bulk density. The higher the bulk density of the pellet is, you need to have smaller material handling system. Calorific value, GCV, gross calorific, is a very important parameter again. It again impacts the material handling as well as the how much to compare to different type of pellets. It's a very, very important pellets. The more the heat is, the better the quality is. Again, durability is another parameter, that the pellets which if more durable will not have a breakdown while transportation and storage. So when you talk about the application part, there are majorly can be classified into 4 heads. First is domestic cooking, which probably World Bank and other United Nations organizations are promoting pellets in different parts of the world for efficient clean cook stoves. Second is the commercial cooking. We can talk about the messes, hotels, kitchens, community kitchens. Third is industrial heating. We talk about a lot of industries like tape manufacturing, garments, textiles. We have smaller applications where we can have pellet burners up to a size of 15-20 lakh kilocalories, and other companies like which have big boilers also. And one of the major potential area of pellet applications now coming up is the power generation. We have NTPCs as well as private power producers. So this is we already done that. If you compare the cost of pellets to other fuels, pellets are currently available in India. I'm talking about the premium quality pellets only as of now, are available at 12 rupees, while the imported coal is available more than 14 rupees. This is some a bit old data. Currently it's 16 rupees because the price of coal has again risen up. As we know, LPG is more around 80 rupees and diesel is not less than 100 rupees available today. While pellet is the most cost competitive fuel. Earlier, there was, people were only promoting pellets as a measure of environmental and sustainability. Now the pellets have become a very, very good economic sense. For example, if you convert 1 liter of diesel to pellets, you require only just 2 kgs of pellet. So if we have a comparison, a 1 liter of diesel same heat will be delivered by 2 kgs of pellet, which will cost less than 30 rupees. And our 1 liter of diesel costs around 100 rupees. So it's around 70% saving on the diesel cost. Similarly, for LPG, the conversion to pellets is around 2.5 kg. This is something around 30 rupees, 35 rupees. So now pellets, the industry is adopting pellets because of cost competitiveness, as far as for some of the fuels like coal, there were severe supply chain disruptions in last 2 years and they were stock out. So companies are now looking for a sustainable supply, and pellets are important for government and other private players. Now, these are the trends of the pellet industry, because I've been to this industry for last 10 years. We have seen how this industry has grown. Now we can expect huge cost savings compared to diesel, gas, and coal when we switch from these fossil fuels to pellets. Now, supply chain disruptions and a subsequent shortage of coal has again given impetus to the demand of the pellet. Companies have become more aware for the environment conservation and now are talking about sustainability, because in line with the Government of India to reduce 1 billion tons of CO2 emission by 2030 and completely eliminate coal by 2070. Example that in Delhi NCR, only PNG and biomass will be allowed as an industrial fuel for boilers and furnace from 1st October 2022. See, all other fuels will be banned. So this has given a huge impetus to biomass, and pellets are the most preferable type of biomass in terms of transportation, handling, and storage. Dr. Bharti has already talked about it, that India's requirement of coal is equivalent to 1,000 million tons. So just to give a breakup of you, of this, around 247 million tons of coal is being imported, and this coal is very, very costly. Even if we just target this coal to be replaced through our pellets, it's a huge market. Even a small portion of this market can generate huge requirement, because at the same time the country will save a lot of foreign reserves and a lot of employment can be generated. And secondly, as you know, Indonesia has selectively banned the export of coal from there. India is facing the huge shortage, and even the power plants, whether they are private or government, are forced to import coal. So I think this is the market to target initially, 247 million tons of imported coal, because it will make an absolute economic sense, because the coal prices will not less than 16 rupees and you will be able to deliver similar calorific value pellets at around 15 to 20% discount. This comparison is already taken by sir, so I will not take it. This is again, we talk about that we have taken that there's a low, they have better fuel characteristics, bamboo pellets compared to different other pellets. Now, how we can make pellets from bamboo? So there can 3 ways we can make it depending on the availability of bamboo with us. We can have pellets which are made 100% from bamboo. We can combine bamboo with wood waste if it's available in your vicinity at a very cost competitive prices. It can again be a very premium product, and we can also mix bamboo with crop residue for industrial boilers to replace coal. Again, it depends on the availability. If you have 100% bamboo available with you at a competitive price, you can go it with. Otherwise, you can also go for these combinations in your factory. Now, you can verify that the current price for end customer at this point of time is rupees 12 per kg ex factory. And the price for distributor traders in India is around not less than rupees 11 per kg. And currently, the pellets are selling at 100% advance payments with 3 to 4 days of average waiting time. So this is an excellent industry to get in because it's a huge demand and there's a huge gap in demand and supply. So a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of plants are required. And the estimated cost of manufacturing of bamboo pellet, comes out to be approximately ₹9. So around ₹2 of profit can be easily generated even if you sell whole of your production to the distributors and traders, not selling it to the individual customer. Pellet plant can produce around 525 to 625 metric tons per month, and the break even is expected in about 2 years' time. We have already talked about what are the benefits of switching to bamboo pellets from fossil fuels. It has definitely get a lower ash compared to coal and a higher net calorific value. It's environment friendly and clean fuel. We have a higher boiler efficiency. Because of less ash and other silica and nitrogen compounds, we have lower boiler maintenance, and there is no issue of managing the ash of the pellets because it's an organic ash. It's not an inorganic ash which cannot be dumped in the fields. So why bamboo pellets plant is a commercially lucrative project? First of all, the raw material prices for wood have increased by 40 to 50% in last 2 years, and it's getting costlier day by day. And second, we cannot increase the supply of wood waste to meet the demand. While, as Dr. Bharti said, through energy plantations in 3 to 4 years' time, we can definitely increase the availability of bamboo to meet our demand. Secondly, bamboo doesn't require any additional process like debarking, and so there is no wastage and no additional cost. Bamboo pellets are equivalent to best quality wood pellets, and the yield of bamboo, as Dr. Bharti has mentioned in his presentation, if grown properly, will be much more than any tree crop. So if someone can manage the raw material supply chain properly, it's a highly advantageous in long term, going by the trends, because the prices of raw material wood is getting costlier. The wood pellets will be even costlier probably 2 years from now, while bamboo prices, because you have a dedicated energy plantations, can be kept a bit in a I think in a constant range. So this is about us. We are working in the area of bioenergy, and this is me and my co-founder Rahul Biyani, who is also running a pellet plant from last 6 years, and we are now using bamboo waste as well as one of the raw materials for our pellet production. And bamboo, we believe bamboo is the energy crop of the future, and we should work on making more bamboo pellets. As I have told you, all the alternate raw materials are getting costlier day by day. Their prices are increasing 30-40% every 1 to 1.5 years, and there will be a time when we have to switch to bamboo because we can grow it, we can manage supply chain. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Any questions one can ask?
Aman, we will have the question and answers after our director finishes the meeting.
Sure, sir. Sure.
And we'll request Mr. Rahul Biyani to make his presentation.
Good morning, sir. Thank you, Dr. Bharti, and thank you to all the members of Bamboo Society of India for giving us the opportunity to explain the process of pellet manufacturing. So I just want to share our screen, the exact process, how we are processing, how we are running the plant. I think the screen is visible.
Very much visible.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, please.
So let me give you my introduction. I am Rahul Biyani, Director of Salasar Natural Energy. We are running biofuel manufacturing plant at Kagaz Nagar in Telangana since last 6 years. And previously we used to have wood waste as our one of the fuels. But now, since the cost of wood waste is rising continuously, we have shifted our focus on using bamboo as one of the few bamboo waste also as one of the fuels in our processing. So this is the layout and the process how the material is being processed. The raw material comes to our end. Where we store the raw material, the wood and bamboo is chipped out. After chipping, the next step is drying of the material. Then the material is finely grind. After grinding, the material is pelletized. The whole process will be explained in a step-by-step manner by us. So pellet plant machinery overview. These are the equipments that are required, machinery and equipments required for processing the plant. Transformer is a basic requirement to set up the power plant since the current requirement is very high. Weighbridge is required, tractor with a loader is required, a chipper is required, dryer, the hammer mill, the conditioning part, the pellet mill, the cooler for cooling the pellets after pellet is being processed, and the bagging machine. Apart from all this, we do require testing equipments to analyze the moisture level of the material, the ash content of the material, which can be which can be identified by using muffle furnace and bomb calorimeter to ascertain the calorific value of the material. So this is the first section. This is a chipper grinder section where the bamboo is converted into dust. After converting the raw bamboo in dust, the moisture content of bamboo is around 35 to 40%. When we have to reduce for pellet manufacturing, we have to reduce the moisture level to optimum level of 13 to 17% because 13 to 17% is the ideal moisture required for processing of raw material to a formation of pellets. So with the help of dryer, we just reduce the moisture in the process. Next, after when the material is dried, the material is finely grinded to a level of 2 mm of the particle size, less than 2 mm of the particle size for getting a good finish of pellets. So for grinding of the pellets, the hammer mill is used. After the material is grinded out, the material is just transferred from the hammer mill to pellet mill using a JESMA filter, where the filter will collect all the particles, fine particles and everything, and it will be forwarding the material to the pellet mill section. So in this pellet mill, the material is compressed between under heavy pressure between rollers and dies, and the material is converted to pellets of the required sizes. Standard size acceptable around the world is 8 mm, and for commercial process in India, we do require pellet of 6 mm, and for industrial purposes, we can go for 10 mm also in this with this machinery. So after the formation of pellet, the temperature of the pellet is very high and the pellet will be brittle in nature. The pellet is stored in this cooler section. After in this cooler section, we use airflow to cool down the pellets that are formed to regain the shape and strength of the pellets. Once the pellet gets cooled down, this material is transferred to a sieving unit where the material is sieved out, and the fine particles, the finished product, is transferred for packing section, and rest of the material is again sent back to the pelleting section for pelletization. So after bagging section, after packing, the material is stored in the bags and it is stacked out in the storage area and dispatching area. So the standard packing size depends from 25 kg. As per the customer's requirement, in commercial use, we do have a packing of 25 kgs, and for bulk customers who are using it in industrial, we have the packing of 1 ton also in jumbo bags. Important points to be noted in this one is, since biomass is a fire prone, so proper cleaning and safety measures have to be ensured for storage of loose and finished products, because sometimes due to heat, there are chances that the material may catch, self-combustion may start in this material, and the material may start burning on itself only. So sufficient water availability has to be ensured around the plant, so that in case if any fire accident happens, we do have a ample supply of water to dose out the fire. But it is not like cotton or other crop that once the fire starts, it moves on very fast. It doesn't move very fast. It is a slow combustion material. We have to ensure that this kind of incidents doesn't happen in our plant. Electrical installations have to be kept clean and dust free regularly, since because this being a automated plants, there are chances that the electrical equipments and machinery can get choked up and give faulty results due to dust accumulation, since this total plant consists of heavy dust. So this is our corporate office at Kagaz Nagar in Komramim district, Komramim Asirwad district, Telangana. So this is the total process, how the pellets are being made. Recently, we are using 30% of bamboo along with wood waste and agri waste for processing the pellets at our plant. If anyone is interested, they can visit our plant anytime. We do cordially invite them to have a visit at our plant if they want to see the process of pelletization. So I just rest and I hand over.
Sir, do you have any visiting hours, or anybody can call you and come?
Sir, anyone can call me and come, sir. No issue for that, sir.
Sir, next week I will, in the second half next week, I will request you to give a permission.
Yes, sir. You are most welcome to our plant, sir. No issue, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks. Sir.
Thanks, sir. So I now hand over the mic to Venkataram Reddy, sir, to just continue on this topic. Venkataram Reddy, sir.
He's available.
Good morning to everybody.
Good morning, sir.
So I'm very much happy to participate in this program because of Bamboo Society of India was well organized the seminar with eminent people like Barathi, who is dedicatedly working for since more than 40-45 years on this single subject only on bamboo. But the God was blessed him, and the nature was supported him because of the good policy and good activity. Now the era came for expansion of this crop in the entire world, not only in India. So I am very much thankful to the participants, Mr. Chairman, Bamboo Society of India, and Rahul, Biyani, and Secretary, Bamboo Society of India, and the oldest person and youngest person, Mr. Mehtaji, and all the eminent people. So I am very much thankful. And our Honorable Agriculture Minister also visited the tissue culture unit of Dr. Barathi, and he was everywhere, wherever we go in Delhi or any place, and tours, he is mentioning about the Bharathi's contribution about the bamboo's promotion in India. So one of the best plant, and which is having in planet this crop. So it is the need to promote the financial sources of the small and marginal farmers of Indian conditions nowadays, because the farmers are more interested about their economic values. Whatever the expenditure they are going to get due to the crop or due to the land, and the income what they are going to take from that piece of the land is the most considerable item to those persons, instead of these all carbon dioxide, oxygen, whatever other parameters. It is all our national parameters, our intellectual parameters, but the farmer is not much interested about that all the parameters. He is only interested what is the amount I'm going to get, and who is the buyer properly, and where is the market. These are the issues comes in his mind. Because of that issues, from initial stage only, if we eliminate properly in systematic supply chain management, so all the issues will be curtailed at initial stage only, then automatically it will promote as a good crop like a sugarcane or paddy or mango or any orchards type of plantations like oil palm. Now the government of India is giving as a mission mode oil palm promotion in Telangana, in entire India. Like that, there was a bamboo mission. The mission is sleeping now. Government of India level, small amount they are releasing and not at all any coordination with the companies, no coordination with the big powers, this power ministry or any industrial ministry or any transport ministry. Just they are promoting the all handicrafts. Handicrafts will not work out much. So only whatever the industrial policy, what exactly since 10 years, the Dr. Barathi is telling about the industrial promotion. This crop should go as a industrial raw material. Then only it will pick up and it will be useful to the farmers as well as the country also. So after knowing the very, very little knowledge about the bamboo through Barathi, we took initiation as a 20 acres of the pilot project in our Telangana state. Now the third year is crossed now. So pilot 250 kg pelleting machine we are going to install it this in Hyderabad, nearby Hyderabad, and the already machine was came and transformer fitted, and within 1 week we are going to inaugurate, and we will request all the eminent people to participate in that program also, because I hope for exclusively bamboo pelleting machine and plantation, nowhere we can see only except in Telangana. So 5 varieties, the bamboo, Dr. Barathi was given to me, 14,000 plants. Excellently, the weight and the girth and the columns came very well. And within 3 years only, the performance is very wonderful. We planted at the rate spacing of 12 feet by 4 feet and 15 feet by 5 feet like that, not 10 by 8 by 4. But because of our local people's apprehensions, they were not compromised, at least not below than 15 feet. So we agreed for the request and we considered 15 by 4 like that. So with drip irrigation, the suggestions what he gave, agronomical practices, we totally adapted. And Dr. Mehta and all the eminent people also seen the plantation, and this Telangana Bamboo Society also visited with a group of farmers, and they appreciated the efforts. Now we given the plants of near about 5 lakh plants to the farmers as a pure plantation and border plantation. So all the plants come up very well, and we are planning to take up this bamboo pelleting machine on mobile to take up this mobile pelleting machine to their villages, and we will take the chipping and on the tractor mounted chipping machine we purchased one, and the same chipping we take up, and we will make the pellets, and we will give to the pellets to the farmers, and the farmers can sell as like a maize or whatever the grains what he is now producing. So our concept is at least the farmer should get everyday income like a dairy, like a poultry, because on a border or pure plantation of 1 acre or 2 acres, if he plant every day 20-25 culms, he can cut it easily with his own work by his family or by himself. At least 25 to 30 bamboos he can harvest, minimum 10 to 15 kg daily. He can harvest near about 500 to 600 kg bamboo. So 500 to 600 kg bamboo, he can get minimum 300 to 400 rupees as a income when he go to the house. This is our policy in every village, in every farmer. At least he has to plant border plants, or he has to plant half acre area, 1 acre area, whatever the land he is having in the position, including and the government lands wherever nowadays. Haritaram program is a massive program of Telangana state. 12,000 villages we are established the nurseries. And everywhere the useless plants are grown now. So 50% of the plants we can grow with the bamboo. So those bamboo can be given to the farmers in the rainy season, the plants can be planted on the borders of the field or at community lands in the village or at pure plantation of the farmers. This is our objective, and a lot of letters we wrote to the Power Minister, Government of India, R.K. Singhji, and Alok Kumar, Secretary, Government of India, Power, as well as we met Netra people and the NIPT, thermal NTPC people also in Delhi level, and the Aman is also accompanied with me, and there are some appreciations about the bamboo. So they are telling that the only agro residues, that is the NCR region, they are promoting only biomass of the this paddy, not any biomass. So that is the apprehensions of the NTPC. So we convinced with the help of the Aman to those persons, but they are not at all convinced that they need one letter from the PMO office. So if we wrote a letter to the PMO also because the bamboo is the energy crop, it can be considered the energy crop, and it can be promoted for the farmers' welfare as well as the nature's welfare or the pollution levels also. So I hope the letter may go to the Power Secretary, Power Minister also. So something has to be initiated at their level. But I request the Bamboo Society of India continuously pursue with this subject as not only agro residue biomass. The bamboo is the biomass which is having very good values in all parameters. It has to be explained properly at a higher level, that to Power Ministry level and NTPC level. Then only it will be pushed at large. Otherwise, 70% of the consumers are only power sectors. So if we take the power sector in large scale, then the area can be extended up to 40 to 50 lakh acres, what the Barathi was said. So it definitely happens because with the cooperation of all the eminent people and dedicated people who are working for the bamboo, for the development of the bamboo, like Barathi and Bamboo Society, I request all the eminent people to write a continuous letters to the PMO office and the NTPC office and Power Secretary and Power Minister, mails and letters to consider the bamboo as an energy crop. Only they are considering the agro residue, that is the paddy straw, as a biomass crop. It is not the it will not work out. So for various regions, the bamboo has to be promoted. Bamboo has to be included in the NTPC sector. Then only our aim and objective will be fulfilled in major part, I hope. Otherwise, again, hindrances will happen. Once the farmers will take up the plantations, if nobody is the buyer, then it's a very big problem. Like other crops, it should not happen like that. So minimum the farmer has to get minimum 5 rupees per kg of dried bamboo or chipped bamboo, whatever it may be. Then it is workable to him. As Barathi sir said, the 20 ton yield per acre, minimum 1 lakh rupee if the farmer is going to get that crop will sustain, and the longevity will be there. Otherwise, again the farmer will shift to another crop which is the good commercial value. So for continuous crops, for continuous welfare of the farmers and continuous income to the farmers, we have to push the power sector people to use more bamboo. This is my opinion. I request all the people to wherever and whatever manner we can push at higher levels in all states and the central government of India. It will be useful to the farmers and this Bamboo Society of India. Thank you for this opportunity for all the eminent people who are given to me. Thank you to all.
Thank you, Dr. Venkataram ji. You really covered very well this topic. I request Rengnath ji to coordinate now.
Thank you, sir. So that was really informative and power-packed session on biomass, one of the critical topics. We'll move to Q&A. So, ladies and gentlemen, please.
Rengnath ji, can we go for questions?
Can you hear me? Yes. Yes, sir. We are moving into Q&A right now. So if you would like to ask
a couple of questions to Aman and Rahul.
Please go ahead, sir.
This is Murthy this side, KP Murthy here. My question to Aman is, Amanji, what has been your experience with challenge with NTPC on pricing? You are talking about 12 rupees a kg would be a reasonable price for a bamboo pellet. But I understand, I'm not sure, the current pellets are a mix of agro waste and they are in direct competition to bamboo pellet. So how do we make this happen with NTPC for a pricing? What is the argument, technical or otherwise? Can you help us to tell us?
Aman, the mic is mute.
Thank you, Mr. Murthy. So I actually attended a meeting with Venkataram Reddy sir, with the mission director of use of biomass in power plants, Mr. Sudeep Nag, at the NTPC head office in Noida. So we raise the same point because pricing for bamboo is because bamboo is a high quality material. So what we can do, either we can have a small amount of bamboo to increase the calorific value. But if you talk about 100% bamboo pellets, as far as the current pricing criteria is of NTPC is concerned, they are taking pellets through tendering mechanism. So for that, our prices should meet their, the tender value or the bidding value, which they are, this is the only mechanism they are adhering to. Secondly, now the technical, what we are saying is that bamboo, for example, the crop residue pellets, which currently NTPC is using, has around 8 to 10% of ash, while bamboo pellets, which we are talking, has around 2 to 3% of ash at most. Now, when we talk about the net calorific value, that will definitely be much more in case of bamboo, because the GCV is high, the ash is low, so the heat delivery value is certainly more. The pricing is one part which we look to it, but at the same time, what we believe, rather than just focusing on NTPC, sir, there are a lot of large boiler players which probably are looking for a bamboo pellets. I'm not talking about, so government is one thing because government has certain policy to do it, but you can, if you have a pellet plant and if you have large companies with monthly requirement of 250, 500 tons up to 1000 tons, you can connect them with, they will happy to get 10 mm, 12 mm pellets from you, which are made of bamboo. Maybe the margin, the price would not be 12 rupees, but maybe it will be 10, 10.5 rupees ex-factory. But if they are going to, procure your whole produce, 1 to 1.5 rupees is not a bad amount. So you can have a discussion with them. So NTPC, we know that there are challenges, but we are working on it. Dr. Barathi has also raised that same question on different platforms, that we, because if you talk about any other country apart from India, we talk about Europe, we talk about Southeast Asia, we talk, they all have pellet plants which are linked to the energy plantations. They know with waste or with residue, we can only achieve a certain amount of our objectives. But if you need to completely replace coal, we need to have energy plantations, and bamboo is one of the most important energy crops. So that is my take, sir, on this.
Which countries have bamboo pellets in power sector as use cases?
Sir, bamboo pellets. So Japan, there are certain bamboo pellets which are being exported to Japan from Indonesia. Japan is the largest consumer of pellets in power plants in the world. So there are certain manufacturers who are mixing bamboo, not 100% bamboo, but they are already mixing with certain crop residues and.
When you meet NTPC, can we not take these? Cannot these examples of Japan be presented for an Indian context?
So that's candidly the problem with the NTPC was that they are bound by the government of India policies. So if tomorrow the honorable minister or the government central government allows the use of crop residues and as well as agriculture produces or grasses, they can allow it. So they are currently binded by their policies, sir. So we have tried to present this case in front of them, and then they are considering it. They actually require certain more inputs from our side, which we will be providing them soon. So we are working on this direction, but as of now, something concrete has still to come up, sir.
We wish you wonderful success.
Thank you, sir.
Because even a small
Amanji,
is a big.
Amanji, this is
in the bamboo sector and the pellets case. My next question goes to Rahul ji. What percentage of bamboo is used in the pellet manufacturing in the Telangana plant, please?
Sir, at my location, we are using 20% mix of bamboo along with wood waste.
Are you able to the good feedback on this 20% mix balance?
Yes, the quality of the pellet is increasing, and it is very fine to go along with 20 to 30% of mixing of bamboo waste along with this one, what you call it as wood waste.
So this becomes perhaps a solution to do this hybrid story, maybe to justify the cost to some extent. Could this be a good strategy to present?
It could be a good strategy, but depending upon again the price of wood waste, which is now become a very costly affair. So we just try to mix this along with the bamboo actually.
What about husk and all, agro waste?
Agro waste we didn't try it, sir, because in our area we don't find a huge quantity of agro waste available. So we didn't try along with that.
No, Delhi has a big problem of pollution and agro waste being burnt.
Sir, in our area, actually paddy straw is being used as a cattle feed. So we don't find any person burning paddy straw in our area.
Mr. Murthy,
why don't you consider in future to collaborate with somebody near Noida so that you solve the national problem of burning with
Mr.
your
Murthy,
experience? Just a suggestion, please.
Yeah, please. So, in my presentation, one of the 3 ways to manufacture bamboo pellet is to mix bamboo pellets in certain percentage with the crop residue to improve the overall characteristic of the pellet. This can be done because even in the NTPC or any tender, the statement says the primarily crop residue. It not says the exclusively or 100% crop residue. Maybe initially for NTPC, we can have 70, 75% or 80% the crop residue and 20% bamboo to increase the overall performance of the pellet to get the maximum energy and the maximum prices. And at the same time, we will, as you said, as we have told you that we will keep pushing for 100% bamboo pellets for the power plants.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr. Aman, this is Nitin. I have a question, 2 questions. First, what pricing are you considering for the bamboo raw material? Suppose we like Dr. Nambi said, Dr. Bharti said, we can get 40 tons of dry biomass. Do you buy dry biomass or do you buy wet biomass? And what is the price you are paying to the farmers who are supplying bamboo? And the second question is, can we make pellets from 100% bamboo waste?
I'll pick the second question first, sir. We can definitely make 100% bamboo pellets. That's not an issue, but it depends on the quality, type of machinery, because not every pellet mill is capable of making 100% bamboo pellets. So we need to be very selective about the machinery which we are installing in our location for that. Secondly, if you're talking about, we are not buying bamboo as of now from the farmers. We are actually getting it through the bamboo waste from the paper industry. We are manufacturing, so we are using that bamboo waste from paper industry for manufacturing pellets. Secondly, we are also working with the forest department. We are now talking so that we can procure bamboo directly from the FDC tender process.
Thank you. Then the second question would be to Dr. Nambi, whether you would recommend cutting every year or every second year.
Yeah, that depends on the kind of your labor availability, and then you can also do every year selective harvest, which means in a plantation 2 years plus 1.5 years, 2 years plus bamboo, you cut it. Whatever less than 1.5 years, leave it back. Come back the next year and harvest that, and then whereby you go able to harvest every year. But if by any chance the labor is not available, shortage and all, then comes, you can harvest like a sugarcane harvester to the bottom completely, and then we can put it in the pellet, because pellet does not make any difference between the younger bamboo and the older bamboo. In fact, younger bamboo is going to have lesser ash content, and when they compress it, the density of the younger bamboo will be less, but they are going to do an extrusion of the powder material, and whereby the density become uniform. And the advantage is the ash is going to be lesser. And you can use both the methodology depending on this and do the planting accordingly so that the tractor is able to go between the two rows. The tires of the tractor should be able to go and then do the harvest. Like a sugarcane how it's harvested now, but the mechanical machine harvest. Similarly, we can do that.
In Maharashtra, there is one person who is promoting bamboo pellets, and he is saying that we should plant 1,500 plants per acre and do yearly harvesting for making the bamboo pellets.
Yeah, it can be considered. Because here, what you need is only the more number of plants. You can increase the population. And but if you're going for a tractor mounted, then we know the spacing should be given, enough spacing should be given for the tractor wheel to go around, or the harvester wheel space should be taken care. Then you can do that.
Nitinji, can you name can you give us the name of the gentleman who's promoting this plantation?
It is, yeah, I will. It is, I think, Mr. Rahul. I don't know. Mr. Nage, you can have his video if you can. Mr. Kailash Nage.
Yes, we have heard his name.
Yes, Mr. Kailash Nage, and he's saying that you plant 1,500 plants per acre, but he's not talking about what price he is giving to the farmers. But he can say that if you have 50 acres of bamboo, you can have your own pellet making unit at a place like
The pellet making unit with 1,500 plants depends on the capacity of the machine that you are going to use. The machinery what they are using, it is something around 500 or 600 kgs per hour. Whereas what we are speaking about is a machinery with a 5-ton capacity per hour.
Yes,
so with
yes,
a
I know
1,500 trees, we cannot sustain a plant which is having a capacity of 5 tons per hour.
Absolutely, absolutely. He's talking that you should have a clusters in the villages where you can have 50 acre to 100 acre plantation, and you can have small scale units there.
The thing is,
also, Mr. Biyani, what is the cost? What is the cost aspect you are saying for 5 tons per hour?
It's a 9 crore plant.
5 tons per hour biomass or 5 tons per hour final production?
Final production.
And what will be the cost? 9 crore.
9 crores.
No, but
it's
you can
a
go,
European plant.
Yeah, but you can go for certain other plants which can start from around 2 tons per hour machine, at which will give you an output of around 1,400 to 15 kgs on bamboo pellet. These are good. The pellet mill can be sourced from other locations, while the other machinery can be sourced from India itself. That plant would cost you somewhere around 1.5 crore rupees with complete, everything. So there are different models depending on, what kind of availability do you have. Secondly, Nitinji, I'll request you. So if you go by for this kind of machines, please consider the complete costing, because sometimes the plants are cheaper, but the overall production cost is so high that at the end of the day, your product is not viable in selling the market. So please do consider that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Amanji,
yes, sir.
What is the response from KVIC and MSME on low size, small size plants for pellet making?
Sir, we haven't in touch with them, but at the same time, the problem we have seen with such plant is that, first of all, they don't have the complete machinery set. There are a lot of steps which have been, they skip. Now, the problem is that when you manufacture, if you want to manufacture a high quality pellet, you need to have, all the constituents which Mr. Rahul has already mentioned. So, and again, if you talk about, you have a plant manager there, you need to have a team there. So the overall overheads become so high that the cost of the pellets become unviable in the market. So it's very, very crucial. So what you can do, either from a 2-ton plant, you can go for a 1-ton plant, but always go for a machinery with a reliable supplier who has a very, very good track record. Otherwise, I have seen a lot of plants previously which have closed down just because of this reason.
1 ton will cost how much investment?
Sir, I think it will cost you around, I think 90 lakh to 1 crore rupees. Yeah.
How much?
90 lakhs to 1 crore rupees, sir. With installation, cabling, power and everything. Because generally these people don't give you, nitty and gritties about the cost involved, sir.
So thank you very much, sir. We'll move on to our next question. Anybody else from the audience? Mr. Sridhar, do you have any question?
No, sir, I'm good. Thank you.
Mr. Prasad? Yes.
Hi, everyone.
Please go ahead, Mr. Ravi.
Like I've heard about this wood pellets, like they are more toxic than coal while burning. Is it the same thing with bamboo? Or like, I'm not sure. Do we have any inputs on this? Like,
Yeah. So I think when we talk about, this is a very generalized statement that first of all, any fuel which is not burnt properly will lead to fumes, which are toxic in nature. Secondly, if we do the analysis of bamboo and wood compared to coal, we have very less percentage. So we don't generally have nitrogen components, which is just NOx in traces, and sulfur compounds in a very, very small amount. So how we can say that they are toxic? Because generally bamboo and wood doesn't contain heavy metals, while coal you can probably find different kind of heavy metals depending on the type of coal. So this is not a I think right statement. You should probably dig deeper into it. What are the reason and which parameters the author has compared the pellets with the coal, and which type of coal you are talking? Because generally the coal which in India has got a very, very poor fuel characteristics and a very large amount of heavy metals. Just to give you an example, bamboo or wood pellets ash you can use and put as a fertilizer in your fields, while you cannot do same with the coal ash because it has got a large number of inorganic and heavy compounds and heavy metals.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mr. Samir, go ahead with your question, sir. Mr. Samir Jamatia, please go ahead with your question.
Yes, sir. Can Rahulji and what is the company? Can I just one clarification one out? How much the input and output based off the real ground of northeastern part? If you establish that this unit, then output and input, how much the get out? Then prices, maximum production prices.
Sir, we are planning to establish a plant in Assam, for which I will be visiting in the Assam area for ascertaining the availability of bamboo in that area. So everything depends on the cost of the raw material that which you are getting. Apart from that, the process cost remains constant for bamboo across anywhere, depending on the electricity and labor charges. So market is huge in northeast area also. That area can be explored. Since there are no pellet plants in that area, we are planning to establish one pellet plant in Assam now.
Which will be based on bamboo.
Which will be majorly based on bamboo only.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Vikram, please go ahead with your question.
Sir, namaste. Hello.
Hello.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Sir, namaste, sir. Sir, first question is that what will be the CV of this bamboo, sir?
The bamboo CV ranges between 4,000 to 4,300.
4,300. Okay, sir. Okay. Kilocalories per kg, sir, right?
Yes, sir.
And at the same time thing, sir, because in our district, most of the people, they are growing paddy. And very recently, they are turning towards this bamboo or other secondary crops, like sugarcane, etc., etc. But right now, when we started planning this planting this bamboo, because the production of per year or this annual production will be very less when we compare to other crops, right, sir? So this thing, while production is very low, and this that we have to send it to some other location, right, sir? So this will be the problem for a small farmers. So how can that company, Rahul Biyani, sir, that because it will be very, Telangana will be near to this northern Karnataka part. Okay. Are they going to cooperate with the small farmers? Anything this, it will be helpful for us.
So, sir, we are having some discussions with the Karnataka State Power Development Corporation also. We have spoken to them also regarding this thing, and they have requested us to, since the requirement of them for usage of pellet has come up, so they have requested us to establish a cluster in that particular area, which will be nearer to northern Karnataka, that is Zairabad, the border area of Karnataka, Bidar and Zairabad area. So we do have certain plans that we can establish one cluster in that area. But for establishing a cluster, first we should have a ample quantity of raw material available in our hand to come up with a plant in that area.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
So at the same thing, because in the Bidar area, we get the secondary this sugarcane residue.
Yeah, the sugar in case of when we speak about sugarcane residues, now the thing is that the sugar mills itself, they are utilizing 70% of their sugarcane waste, which is being generated at their plants for
Yes,
fuel
sir,
only
sir.
directly.
Right, sir.
Yes.
And the same thing, sir. Actually, because basically I'm an engineer, so while speaking with some of my friends in some of the power plants, so actually they will be using LD oil or LD oil, right, sir? LD oil as a fuel. So these things, when we are using the fuel for the oils, if the companies, if this power plant are going to replace with this bamboo pellets, it will be very means are they? It's going to be very easy for them to replace it with the bamboo pellets because the system it has to be changed, and it will be going to the in a completely governmental complete higher authorities. They have to give the permissions.
No, I think there is no permission is required from government end because I have converted a lot of industries which were previously running on LDO or furnace oil, and I think in the current scenario, if it's so LDO is a very wide definition these days, but if I consider the calorific value of LDO compared to I think 10,000 CV, then at 2.5 maximum 2.5 kg conversion of pellets to LDO, you can convert it and see the prices. Because LDO today is not coming less than 50-55 rupees. So the same can easily be done in 30-32 rupees. So so these are the applications where you can actually drive the maximum value or price for the pellets.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Vikram.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Anytime you had interactions with Niti Aayog on your regarding the hybrid product, what you are making 20% bamboo plus other in your pellet product?
I think, sir, we don't have, but Dr. Bharti is the right person because he is now on the panel for Niti Aayog.
We are all there, but since you are the industry person,
so I think
what is the kind of general reactions did you get any time?
Actually, we did it before the NTPC and the mission director. They actually again, they are bounded by their own policies. But I think like we now are planning to raise this issue on larger platforms. Like we have got the support of the Honorable Agriculture Minister of Telangana, the same. So if you get some good political support for this, then probably we will try to influence the policies. And I think that is required, sir, because every crop residue cannot be converted to pellets and it will not be economically viable to do so. And the market is huge. And so now just to give you a very interesting fact and figure, the total capacity of thermal plants in India is going to be increased in a very huge manner in next to 3-4 years. Now thermal plants will be run by coal. So going forward, maybe the percentage of thermal power in the total energy mix will come down, not the absolute quantity, sir. So if you are using 1,000 tons of coal, even the coal ministry says that we'll be using around 1,400 tons of coal in next 3-4 years, sir. So even if at 10% blending, our market is going to increase, and that cannot be solely, even at for 10% blending or 20% blending, that cannot be solely met through crop residue. Just to give you
an idea is, how about some pilots? Question is, we are not going to win it in overnight, but let there be a pilot in one plant, whether it is Kottagudem thermal power station or Vijayawada thermal power station or anywhere. Why other than NTPC, is the local chief engineer boss or whoever, can he decide or he has to only take the permission of NTPC for all this?
No, they don't have to take the permission from NTPC, sir, since this has been now mandated that every thermal power producing company.
The problem is the
has
price. No, the problem is the price. So it is a political decision.
So that has to be ascertained by the group of companies only. We cannot give our view on that thing.
But I think Murthy sir, your suggestion is very valid. I think we all will take this suggestion on very valid forums. Venkataram Reddy sir has already talked to the state Genco, and probably this proposal can again be presented in front of them, that if we can probably have a 20% mix in the pellets which they require.
Some percentage mix, number one, and number two is a pilot.
Yeah, exactly, sir. I think your session is very valid. We'll definitely like to take up that, rather than 100% pellets, initially, if you can start with the particular percentage of bamboo can be allowed, that can also be a very, very positive forward step. So we'll definitely like to take it forward.
Mr. Aman, Mr. Aman,
yes,
can you just give this information about somebody who's manufacturing pellet in Bangalore and selling it to other parts at advanced payment be made? If you can just share, people will get a lot of confidence on this. Can you just share?
So, sir, whatever one can actually open up the India Mart app and put up a requirement for wood pellets. The specifications of wood pellet have already been. The least amount of price as an end consumer, I mentioned 12 rupees, but you won't be getting less than 12 rupees. And even at that price, that's 12 is very best price, and you have to pay in advance a week before. So this is because the demand has actually, supply was demand is much more than supply as of now. And with the prices of diesel and other fossil fuel increasing day by day, a lot of new consumers are adding, every month they are shifting to pellets. So the demand is constantly increasing, and it's probably, just to give an example, India only manufactures around 1 million tons of pellet every year, while the demand is, I think, 20 times more than that as of now. So I think we should all see in a very positive light. And but one important question which we all have mentioned, linkage to the supply of raw material through the plantation is the crucial for the success of any such initiative. That is what we need to see. We need to see if we have 100% bamboo available with us, or we need to mix it with wood or other crop residue.
Thank you, sir. We have a question from Mr. Jayachandra. Jayachandra, please go ahead.
I would like to make a query. One question, please. Is there specific demand for bamboo pellets, or is there a demand for mixed pellets?
The demand is for mixed pellets. Specific demand for bamboo pellets hasn't come up since we just started exploring this option now only, sir.
Okay, but then the information that I got through this webinar is that bamboo as such is
yes, bamboo as such can be utilized, because we were doing some research and development on bamboo pellets. Since till now the availability of other raw materials was there in the market, so the focus was not shifted to bamboo. Now, as of when the raw material prices are moving up in an uncertain way, so now the focus is slowly shifting on bamboo now. And we have done our research and development in making bamboo pellets and the uncertainty of the characteristics of bamboo pellets. So we find it is the best proportion and best option available nowadays.
Okay, so there is scope for it to pick up and then compete with and do better than others.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So there is a demand for wood pellets which is growing. Now, bamboo pellets are a highly suitable candidate for replacing wood pellets, sir, because they have certainly better characteristics than most of the wood pellets which are available in India. Only pine wood pellets, which are considered the finest available pellets in India, have fuel characteristics which are equivalent to the bamboo pellets, sir. If you talk about 1 or 2 year old bamboo or a young bamboo, as Dr. Barathi has mentioned. So Wood pellets, because due to shortage of wood, as well as because sawdust or wood waste is a byproduct, sir. We cannot increase the availability of byproduct to meet the demand. That's the reason. If we have more demand, how will we be able to meet it? We cannot actually have, use the complete logs of wood to create, that's the reason wood pellets can be easily substituted by bamboo pellets. I'm talking about, and this is the price range of 12 rupees. Now there is another market, which is we talked about industrial pellets. Industrial pellets are which are burned in boilers. They are the one where the crop residue pellets have a major demand. But at the same time, some of the companies are now also looking, private players I'm talking about, are maybe the users of bamboo pellets. Maybe they will give you lesser margin, maybe a rupee margin, but they will probably pick up, say, 500, 600 tons from a single plant every month. So your whole produce can be sold to them, to a single client. So that is the scope which we are working. And going forward, as the price of other raw materials is going up, that will have a impact on the prices of pellet also, sir. Maybe today the price of crop residue pellet is at 9 rupees and bamboo pellet is at 11 rupees. 2 years from now, probably they both will be stand neck to neck. Then the customer will prefer bamboo pellets because of their better fuel characteristics.
The other pellets is 9 rupees, is it?
For example, yeah, 9.5 rupees is the price of 9 rupees at least for the crop residue pellets, sir.
Okay.
Now bamboo pellets at 11 rupees. So after the crop, because of the demand and the availability is limited for the crop residue, their prices are certainly going to be increased. For example, if the crop residue pellets price increase from 9 to 10, 10.5, then at 11 and 11.5 rupees, the use of bamboo pellets will be advantageous. It will give more saving because the GCV is certainly around 10 to 15% more than the issues of slag and other boiler maintenance will be much lower in bamboo. So I think 2 or 3 years time, we'll probably see a huge demand for bamboo pellets coming from the boilers and industry, not only just commercial segments, sir, to replace the wood pellets.
Amanji, this price of 12 rupees, is this delivered at the buyer?
No, sir, this is ex-plant.
Ex-plant, sir. I have given you a simple mantra. Just go and put up a requirement on India Mart, sir, in your area. Mention that you need GCV more than 4,000, ash less than 3%. You will definitely.
My concern is because this is a 1 or 2 rupee margin per kilo product. Yes. We need to have this closest to the buyer, and not where the biomass is produced. Sir, but as soon as you shift the plant away from the biomass, the cost of transporting biomass to the plant increases.
Exactly. Sir, so I think this is the very valid point you have. You need to closer to raw material source, but the pellets are sold as far as around 400, 500 kilometers from the plant. We are selling it at 500 kilometers, 600 kilometers from our plant. We're sending it, but you need to be located near to your raw material source, sir.
And what is the cost of transportation you are currently?
So I think if you have a 30 ton shipment, for I think in 2 rupees freight, you can easily transport up to 500, 600 kilometers, sir, depending on where you are located and the availability of transport there.
Amanji.
Yes, sir.
Can you quickly give me the composition of pricing of this 11 or 12 rupees? What is the production cost? What is the bamboo cost? What is the process cost?
So
just some idea.
Yeah. So the raw material prices delivered to the plant, air dried bamboo, we have taken at around 5 rupees, sir.
Okay.
And 4 rupees we have taken the processing cost, sir.
And what about the wood powder?
Sir, wood. So example, wood, if you're talking about, so in Yamunanagar in Haryana, the sawdust is available currently at 6 rupees with 35% moisture, sir. So the dried sawdust would cost you around 9 rupees. And to add to it, because in wood, the production cost is a bit lower, it will come to 3.5 rupees. So the pellet production cost there is around 12 to 12.5 rupees, sir. In India, anywhere now the wood, the sawdust is not available less than 4.5 rupees with at least 30% of the moisture. So going forward, 1 or 2 years from now, the wood pellets will be much costlier. Bamboo pellets will easily replace wood pellets because they will give similar or better quality at a lower price. And the margins can increase, sir. So today I'm talking about 11 rupees to the bulk customer, sir, who is buying 200 tons from you. maybe the end customer for 30-50 tons, you will not give them less than 12 rupees. And this is the least and very conservative price estimate which I have taken. People are selling. So if you in Yamunanagar in Haryana, the X plant price is currently going is around 13.5 rupees. Same is with the Gandhi Dham in Gujarat.
I think as a bamboo grower, if we can get 4 rupees or 5 rupees per kilo for the biomass of bamboo, I think that is the best. Because Dr. Nambi has said we can target 40 metric tons, but
Yes,
even
sir.
if it is 20 metric tons and at 5 rupees, it makes 1 lakh rupees per acre per year. I think that is, and since you are said bamboo sawdust will not be available hereafter, if the demand is more, we have to switch on to the other raw materials like crop residues and bamboo. And bamboo being very low in ash content has a USP in this product. That's what I noted from the today's discussion.
Exactly, Nitinji.
Yes.
It was a very nice discussion, and thank you organizers for arranging this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nitinji. Mr. Vikram, do you have any further questions? Mr. Vikram, you raised your hand. Okay. I guess he's.
Is Mr. Vikram on Telegram? Mr. Vikram, are you on Telegram?
Hello, sir.
Are you on our Bamboo Society Telegram?
No, sir, not yet.
Why don't you become a member immediately?
Sure, definitely I will be, sir.
Can you flash your mobile number, please? I have something to talk to you offline.
Okay, sir, I will, sir, I will. At the same time, sir, a question that because in the presentation,
Tell me, I will write down.
Okay, sir. That it was the 4 points that you have discussed here, power generation applications of this bamboo pellets.
No, you said you are an engineer, so I just want to ask you 1 or 2 questions later on. Can you give me a number or send it on the, I don't know where.
I will just flash it, sir. I will just flash it. I will just flash it.
Yeah, flash it, please.
Thank you, Murthy sir.
I'm looking for a clarification, Mr. Aman. Am I allowed to go put my question?
Please go ahead.
Sir, the rate of bamboo pellets is told 11 rupees per kg. Is it that 20% blend of bamboo or 100% bamboo pellets?
Sir, it's 11 to 12 rupees would be if you either blend it with wood or 100% bamboo pellets. If you will mix it with the crop residue, your production cost will be reduced also, and the prices will be less, because that pellet will be sold only to the big boilers, because, and that too you not makes the 6 mm pellet, which you'll go for 10 mm pellets where the production cost will be lower. So the profit will be 1 to 1.5 rupees, but that will be a bulk customers, because for example, Dr. Reddy's in Hyderabad require around 100 tons of pellet or briquette every day. I'm talking about 100 tons every day, sir. This is a huge requirement. Yeah, for their boiler, sir.
So that is the application in the.
Yeah, sir. So I'm talking about the industrial segment. The customer is this big, 50 tons every day, 100 tons every day. So that's a big market, sir. Maybe the margin will be a bit low, 1 to 1.5 rupees, but the volumes are huge.
No, what is puzzling is when you can mix it, because today what I understand is NTPC is using the agro waste mainly, but not bamboo, mixed bamboo also. So when there is a price advantage, what is that blocking the mind of NTPC of putting in bamboo either in a mixed form or a pure form? Is that the price is the issue, or anything else? Why are they
policy and price? So there are 2 pieces: policy and price. Price they will only consider as per the tender process. As of now, they are not.
Tender is
willing,
tender is fine, but if we can somehow, of course, Dr. Barathi and our chairman will all be trying. But the question is, can we not justify or monetize, offset that the pricing, or for example, if that is 11 rupees, sorry, ours is 11, 12 rupees, and they are getting at what price now? 6 rupees, 7 rupees. Is it agro waste?
Sir, they intend to, but they're not getting at all because currently we have been approached by NTPC to supply pellets to them. The cost economics have clearly changed in last 2 years because the transportation costs have increased to a lot of extent, and also the raw material prices have shot up.
What is the current purchase price of NTPC now?
Sir, as of now, the last tender which Mr. Rahul is supplying is at around 2.2 rupees per 1000 GCV, sir.
How much?
2.2 rupees per 1000 kilocalories, sir.
Anyway.
Yeah. And one of the problem is that they have actually limited to the upper most limit for the pellets. So if our pellets are at 4300 GCV, they will only consider 4000 GCV. Even if you have 4400 GCV, they will only consider 4000 GCV. That is, I think, something which they should discard this policy. So if our pellet is at 4400 GCV, they should consider at least the complete calorific value.
Thank you.
I think Mr. Batter is from us.
Yeah, I wanted to know, briquettes was the alternative, is the alternative to pellets.
Yes, sir.
How are you competing with briquettes?
Sir, so briquettes have certain issues. So first of all, briquettes cannot be automated, sir. Pellets can be automated through spreading system in some of the boilers. And secondly, in our practical exam trials, we have seen there is a considerable difference in manual or in moving grade, or I think the vibrating grade boilers when we compare the pellets and briquettes. So a briquette can manually fired briquette will yield you a steam ratio of 3.5 kg of steam per kg of briquette used, while pellets can easily achieve 5 to 5.5, sir. So that is something can be done. Secondly, the problem with the briquette is that the quality is not consistent throughout the year, especially in the time of winters and rainy season, sir. Okay. And that's the reason. That's the reason people are now, because now we talk about 10 mm, 12 mm pellets. The pricing difference is not that much, but the advantages are more. So overall savings are more. That's the reason the companies are now preferring to get pellets on a, I think, and cost competitive prices. I think pellets that's the future. That's the reason it's future, sir.
Yeah. Well, what is the price of briquettes today?
Briquettes, sawdust briquettes are also at around 8 rupees ex-factory, sir. 7 to 8 rupees ex-factory, depending on the location, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Aman, I think one question I want to have, ask, and that is, you said that cost of bamboo, you will be paying around ₹5 while you process the pellets. So what will be the actual cost that the farmer gets? Because there is it involves harvesting cost as well as transportation cost.
Exactly, sir. So, what I'll say, because, that's the reason I had a discussion with Dr. Barathi last week when he was in Delhi. So we need to have cluster-based approach, sir. The reason to have a reduce, so to keep in check the transportation cost, because transportation is a major cost center these days. We need to have a cluster approach so that in a cluster we'll have a centrally located plant, so that we can keep. I think Dr. Bharti mentioned around 3.5 to 4 rupees for the air dried bamboo for the farmer, something around.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sir, actually, what you said is harvesting cost again depends on whether we are going for manual harvest or mechanical harvest. When you do a mechanical harvest, the tractor will be able to harvest even a ton of bamboo to the ground, even at 200 rupees to 250 rupees a ton. But whereas when you do this through a manual harvest, depending on the labor cost, it will go anywhere. The lowest could be 500, it can go up to 1000 rupees a ton of manual harvest. Now, what happens is pellet can take the completely harvested one, like a ground harvested one, whereas all other industry cannot take it, but because of the age factor, which gives a strength to the bamboo. When you harvest clear-cut harvest to mechanical means, you're also harvesting 6 months old bamboo, 1 year old bamboo, 1.5 years old, and 2 years old bamboo. So all that ages does not make, or in fact, it improves the quality of the pellet. So ultimately the cost of harvest depends on the method of harvest. Right now, what we do is a manual harvest, because of which the harvesting cost is quite high, sir. But it's going to change the moment when you go through all these means and methods. Like this is what happened in the sugarcane. Sugarcane was manually harvested, very expensive. Today it's mechanical machine harvest. They're able to do several more than 10, 15 acres in a day, one machine comes and does the harvest, like a paddy harvest.
Okay.
And Murthy ji, when you ask me about this, when you're talking about the NTPC policy, it's gone by the government where originally the biomass pellet has come as a solution to stop the burning up paddy husk, paddy straw, all that in the field, which is increasing the pollution level of the ground. Now, that's the reason they formulated in such a way that the trees or the bamboo are not included in the original system, but they also included the, grasses are included. Cultivated grass are included. Other side is bamboo has been declassified as grass now. We have to combine these together. So pellet, they cannot take a wood pellet from the forest, from the trees, but bamboo could be considered because in the statement, they also included a grass which is grown with a purpose, like an energy plantation, like a Napier grass. All the pellet is accepted. Now, bamboo has to be included for the mind of people, for NTPC, bigger level people. I'm also discussing with executive director of NTPC. They are talking to me. Their discussion with me is going on. But the mind, bamboo still, it is tree for them, how it was earlier. But as per the classification of the Government of India, bamboo has become a grass. And when you grow the bamboo as a energy crop, it becomes a cultivated grass. So we have to fit into that and then tell them, as our Reddy sir is working with many people and writing to Prime Minister, they're also going to take it up that. I think that's what he was asking. Bamboo Society should write to these kind of decision-making authorities to include bamboo as a grass to produce the biomass pellets.
No, that's a good point, Dr. Barathi. What comes to my mind now is, now there is a cost to pollution. What is happening around Delhi, correct? Now the government is wanting to reduce that pollution. So it costs some money. So if we can include that mixed situation to take out that, whatever is creating the problem around the fields of Delhi, right?
Yes.
And then start introducing initial stages, some percentage of bamboo into that.
Yes.
So the cost of the end product can come down. And why not this be discussed by Aman with any other enterprising collaborator of that area, an industry person, or I am sure it must have already been done. So why don't we look into this cost elbow available for the program of removing the pollution emanating out of the burning of the agro waste there? Why can't we put that money, whoever does it, so why can't that concession be given in a mixed situation of bamboo plus that, when you compete with the, as nowhere situation, because you now say that grass is there, it is included. So with this kind of a situation, why not our industry person who is already running a show with a mixed situation in Telangana, is there a possibility for him to talk to some friends in the Nayoda or Haryana area and see the viability? Of course, Bamboo Society, our chairman can discuss with the concerned people, but in the preliminary information, can that happen by Aman?
Sir, one of the reasons this has not happened till now is because of the lack of availability or sustainable supply of bamboo in that area. For example, for a certain application, our requirement is around 1 lakh tons of bamboo every year. Now, we are not able to figure out the supply from where we need to get a supply there. So that's the reason we are talking to FDC Telangana. So they have actually got an FDC land. They have bamboo plantations. So once, the industries, so let's leave the NTPC. The industries ready to accept bamboo as an energy crop, sir. We need to create, first of all, sustainable supply chains there. We need to create.
I agree with you, Aman, but the point here is, I understand recently in the Punjab government, Haryana, people are talking to replace the rice story with other than rice.
Yes, sir.
When that is being an impetus, why not some pilots be run? See, the question is, you're not going to win the world overnight. At least, why not some percentage of an experiment be done and then that becomes a successful case when it goes through. Especially they have a problem, continuous, perpetual problem of the smoke and Delhi. You know, we hear a lot, but I don't know to what extent the solutions have been given. Maybe we are having alternate days of vehicles running. So many things are happening,
Yes,
and
sir.
court judgments are happening. So with this kind of a situation in Delhi, can the big bosses there consider this opportunity for bamboo mix? Because the local government say we don't want to produce so much rice there. That's all agricultural experts to talk about. But however, I see maybe some initiative can help. Maybe this can be thought of.
Amanji, again, I think I have one or two more queries. One thing is with regards to combustion of biomass, bamboo pellets vis-a-vis the coal that is being used.
Yes, sir.
How does it compare? Combustion.
So combustion, first of all, bamboo, if you talk about, we have got detailed analysis of bamboo. I think the calorific value, if you talk about Indian coal, sir, the Indian coal, the GCV is around 3,000 to 3,200 kilocalorie per, Singareni, from what we are getting from Singareni coal mines. While bamboo pellets, we are talking about somewhere around 40 to 100 plus kilocalories per kg, sir. Secondly, in that coal, the amount of moisture is more. Ash is at least 30%, sir.
Agreed.
Yeah, when we talk about these two aspects, and even you talk about the total, the constituent of heavy metals and everything,
yeah,
the maintenance is less, because if the lesser the sulfur and nitrogen you have in your fuel, it will result in less acidic fumes, and it will lead to less corrosion, sir. So the maintenance cost is reduced.
Yeah,
as a burning characteristic, it has got more calorific value, around 30-40% more, sir, and lesser ash. So everything, that's the reason bamboo makes an excellent choice of replacing the coal. Now,
all that I understood. That all very positive things, aspects with regards to bamboo charcoal. Bamboo pellets.
Yeah.
Only thing is, I some feedback. I don't remember where from I got. The general impression was that probably this burns too fast, and then that may not be of that much use as compared to coal. Something like that. That's the reason I was asking about.
Exactly, sir. Exactly. Biomass do burn fast. That's the reason. The boilers. I think the boilers which are 20-30 years old. That's the reason. That's the only limitation. That's why we are only burning. Burning 5%, 10%, or we are talking about 20%. Now, a company like ITC is now now having a multi-fuel boiler, where probably in future you can have 100% of bamboo working on it, sir. JK Paper in Sirpur Kagas mill, they have now converted their boiler to a multi-fuel boiler, sir.
Okay.
So that's the reason, that's the limitation of the technology of boiler, not the bamboo pellet, sir.
Okay. So the existing boilers which are using coal, they are not actually suited to make use of this biomass.
100% biomass pellets, partially because NTPC has certain SOPs for how to use pellets in different type of boilers. They have actually given that SOPs to every state Genco, sir.
So still they can use the existing boilers, can still mix.
Yeah, 5%, 10% as of now, and maybe with the advancement, 20%.
Okay. No, but my question is, if we.
But sulfur now, Aman, you said?
Sulfur is, sir, I think very less. I haven't got a report. I'll probably share with you.
It's 0.02%.
Yeah, something around, sir.
2%, is it?
No,
0.02.
0.02 in the case of bamboo.
Yeah. Bamboo and biomass, wood-based and bamboo-based pellet.
What is the other one that is corrosive?
Nitrogen compounds, sir. They probably is again still less than 0.5%. I'm not, I actually have that.
It's even
that is the advantage for the boiler
quantity.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful.
Chairman, sir.
Chief inspectors of boilers of Hyderabad, Telangana is aware of this?
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
We actually are now in next phase under the guidance of Venkataram Reddy, sir. We are planning to reach out to all the boilers which have been installed in Telangana state, which are under the IBC code, and will reach them, will assess their requirement, and will promote bamboo pellets to them, sir.
And also, boiler maintenance is very less. Clinker formation is very less.
Clinker formation is less.
Amanji, one more question.
Chairman, for your previous question, what you asked, the combustion is because all the wood, including bamboo, has got more volatile carbon as compared to fixed carbon.
Right.
That coal has got more fixed carbon than a volatile carbon. Now, what we can do, the bamboo as a pellet, we can use it as Aman said, up to 10-20% does not make any difference because already you have a mass which has got a more fixed carbon. This is going to increase only not at the level of 70-80%, but when you mix together, it is only a few percentages increasing. But when you want to go over more than 20%, 40%, 50%, then it has to be torrefied. The torrefied bamboo will reduce its weight by around 25%, but still the volatile matter is getting reduced. If you want to go in a very, very high level, then it should be converted to charcoal to a level of 35%, convert the charcoal into pellet and give it. That needed only when we start using biomass more than 50% in our boiler, which is not going to reach now, sir. It's going to come in future, it's going to come. And this is tested now by Dalmia Cements for the last 3 years in their plants in Assam and Meghalaya, where they have started using up to 20% bamboo chips along with the coal with no problem. Only when they want to go beyond 20%, torrefaction is needed. After 50% only, you need a coal. Till not that time, sir.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Barathi.
Welcome, sir.
And then you were referring to some letter to be written. Let us work out. We'll send.
Yes, sir.
You are referring to some letters to be sent to Government of India.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, so let us work on that and send.
Please, sir. Please, sir.
Amanji, again, I am asking you a question. Small doubts again. Thing is, when 5%, 10% blending is possible, and it is advantageous. See, obviously, from the characteristics, it is highly advantageous. You don't have to worry about disposal of ash and other pollutants, and it has got higher calorific value. Then that means it's going to save them money because ultimately it's economics which any industry would look forward to. Why is it that it was necessary for Government of India to actually make this mandatory? Why is it that they have not come up on their own? If you say that with existing boilers without changing anything, if they can add about 15 or 20% of biomass briquettes or pellets, including bamboo, why is it that they have not gone in for it on their own?
I think, sir, we'll talk about, there are some, there's a policy paralysis you talk about. So we are not in a process of signing an MOU with one of the India's largest boiler and operation and maintenance companies. I will not discuss the name right now because of that, because we're still in talks. So they are now ready to have a MOU with us to explore the possibility of using bamboo in pellets and different forms in their boilers, sir. Now the private industry, when I talk about any big industry, because we have been closely involved with, so Reliance is looking to have their own bamboo plantation, sir. So private industry is very positive about using bamboo as a source of sustainable energy. Now, government has certain policies. So that's the reason initially we are now focusing more on the private industry. So once industry will start using it, because it's easy to convince them that, okay, if you are buying a briquette at say 8 rupees kg, why don't you go for a bamboo pellet, which is probably at this point of time is around 10 rupees, but it will probably will give around 25% more energy, lesser handling, cost will be there, lesser ash will be there, sir. So that's the reason initially that's the reason I'm repeating again. NTPC in power generation will definitely go, will pitch them, will like Dr. Bharti will at Niti Ayog's level in a different platform, he'll do it. Whatever we can do it, we'll definitely do it. Venkataram Reddy sir is already doing on state level as well as national level, but that will still take some time. Like Murthy sir has said that we need to give them different proposals to do so, sir. They will take their own time. But the private industry, I'm telling you, sir, they are very interested. We have been approached by, again, Dr. Reddy said, can you supply us the bamboo pellets?
Okay.
But what we are facing the raw material shortage as of now, because not much of the energy plantations are there, sir. So if bamboo is grown at, like, say, 5 tons to 10 tons per acre, if that would be yield, the cost will be very high. Like we need to have those precision agriculture techniques as suggested by Dr. Bharati, so that we can maximize the yield, increase the income of the farmer. So at the same time, sir, with use of bamboo, we are not only helping the environment, we are helping the farmer as well.
Okay.
So this is some.
Chairman, I just add one more information for you. Before this regulation came into picture, there are 10 different cement factories are started using it. Before the regulations, this is started 3.5 years back. Okay. Dalmia Cement Executive Director came all the way to Hosur. He had a discussion for 3 days and then went back. They started this program even before the regulation is put into by the government. Now they are talking about making themselves net zero by 2030 by planting bamboo in more than 50 lakh acres of cultivation.
Excellent, excellent. So
now, Government of India says only 2070, whereas the cement factory is saying 2030, sir.
Okay, excellent. Because I was wondering why not cement factories? Why only?
All the private players have started it. We are already talking to a few of them. They are looking for a solution. And bamboo is I am telling you, is a very, very reliable solution. But what we need to do, as Dr. Bharti has mentioned in presentation, we need to work in a very, very, I think, proper way with proper agriculture techniques. We should not left the growth of bamboo on the god. We should have proper irrigation and application of fertilizers, so that the yield can be maximized, the income of the farmer can be increased, and then the more money can brought into it from globally. So that there are a lot of funds, there are a lot of funds which are ready to fund it if we are able to increase the farmer income through it. So this is a win-win situation. Yeah.
Yes, Aman. Sir, this is started by Bhutan first. There is a cement factory in Bhutan. They planted 3.5 years back in Bhutan, and then in the mine area, and we only helped them out. Right now, we are helping, as Aman said, the cultivation practice. We ourselves are planting bamboo in 40 acre, 50 acres, a turnkey project. We are going and doing a demonstration to them and planted. Our own people are going and doing the planting in cement factories. It started in a big way, even before the government regulation. So what you said is true, but all these power projects, thermal projects started thinking only now, whereas the other industries, they start long time back because of the cost advantage, and they themselves has got something to become a carbon neutral cement by 2030 and 20. Earlier they said 2040. After they saw the bamboo, they are confident that they can make it by 2030 itself.
Mr. Aman.
Yes, sir.
Who decides? Which is the apex body that decides on on boiler biofuel?
So see, Government of India last year, May 25th, that's my birthday, they have launched a mission of use of biomass in boilers, sir. It's a national mission of use of biomass in boilers. We should also write a letter to them, whenever Dr. I'll request the chairman.
Which ministry that is?
So ministry, I have to check, but there's a mission. I think I'm not sure which ministry they have actually, but there's a proper mission there now. So there is a mission of use of biomass in power plants, and there is also a mission of use of biomass in boilers, sir.
And what is the saving when we go for our bamboo pellets into that in comparison to the coal or whatever the major practice?
No, the problem is that if the coal is subsidized, the user is actually spending more money. So in my presentation, if you can remember, I talked about the imported coal, sir. Around 25% or 20-25% of coal we import. That is from Indonesia, Australia, South America, and America, majorly from these 4 countries, sir. And the prices have actually more than doubled in last 1.52 years of that coal. If you have seen, last year we were having coal shortage in India, where the huge power shortages was expected. So even if you target that 200 million ton market, now, for example, current price of 4,500 GCV coal, which NCV comes up very less because it has got 20% moisture, where the pellet we have 8% moisture, and it has got 20% ash at least, is around 15 rupees, 16 rupees per kg, sir. Where if we sell them the pellets, they will make savings, sir. So we need to be very exclusive about choosing our market, sir. If we are putting our coal against pellets against imported coal, we are putting against diesel, furnace oil, LPG, PNG. No, it makes a huge commercial sense to do so. While where the coal, for example, in Sirpur Kagaz mill, the coal is coming at 4.5 rupees because due to a government mandate, they are getting subsidized coal for a certain duration. Now, when these subsidies will end, then they will also go for, because, because from same mine, one of the buyer is buying coal at 10 to 12 rupees, and the person who is getting subsidy is getting at 4.5 rupees, sir. That is something which need to do. Even NTPC is buying imported coal.
Oh,
yeah.
So you are pitching the entire thing against the coal majorly.
Yeah, we can put again coal. We can imported coal, if we replace, we save forex also, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the local coal at the factory site, how much it is costing?
Sir, we have to.
It is depending majorly on the auctions in which they are purchasing.
Yeah.
The two factors are determining the cost of the coal, sir. Actually, one is the subsidized coal, the linkage of the coal industry with the mines, and the other players are the players who are buying in auction from the mines. So the price again depends on what kind of linkage do you have, your industry have with the government.
So the subsidized coal, how much it is? Just for an idea. That's all.
Yes, sir. So it is just we can term it as, sir, 1 rupee per GCV. It is costing the subsidized coal.
1 rupee per
1000 kilocalories per 1000 kilocalories, sir.
Okay.
And again, coal has grades B1, B2, B3.
Yes, and the grades, the grade on which we are speaking now is a G grade coal.
Okay. Okay. Then now, and one more thing. Actually, you had said, Mr. Aman, that the cost of production is coming to around 9 rupees. 5 rupees is the raw material cost, and 4 rupees is the processing cost.
Yes, sir.
So that is you are producing. If you are producing at 9, then if you have to supply to an industry, then you'll have to add the transportation cost.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if it is, even if it is transportation 1 more rupee, then when you sell it ultimately to the industry, if they are giving you 11 rupees, then the margin is only 1 rupee per kg. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Somewhere around that. Okay. But is that profitable?
Yes, sir. For example, if you talk about these companies where we are selling at somewhere around big users where have 400, 500 tons requirement every month, there we need this is the price for 6 mm pellets. When we produce, sir, say 10 mm pellets, 25-30 paisa is reduced from the production cost, sir, at least.
Okay.
And if you mix a certain amount of easily available or seasonal crop residue in that case, just to keep our GCV around 4,000, again you can reduce 50 paise more from the cost, so that again profit can be increased from 1 rupees to 1.5 rupees, sir. But it's a huge market, sir. It's a huge market. I told you that for example, one of the ITC plants which we were talking uses around 300 tons of coal every day as of now, sir. And their production is going to double. Then means they will require 600 metric tons of coal every day, sir. See that how much pellet plants are required to fulfill that capacity, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is ITC Bhadrachalam?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Paper industry.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, what will be the ideal size of the pellet which would be best for use in these actually?
Sir, if you are talking on industrial scale, the ideal size will be 10 to 15 mm, sir.
10 to 15 mm.
Yes.
Right. Then for these boilers and all, the smaller ones?
That is, no. For industrial usage, whether it is boilers or anything, the ideal size is 10 to 15 mm. When we talk of stores and commercial usage, where the cook stores and commercial stores, there the ideal size is 6 to 8 mm. 6 mm and 8 mm can be viable in both the situations. Okay. And for industrial usage, 10 to 15 mm pellets are easily viable, sir.
Okay, then between the cost of production between 10 mm and 15 mm, 10 mm is it cheaper as compared to 15 mm?
The cost of production for 15 mm will be cheaper compared to 10 mm.
It will be cheaper.
Yes.
So 15 mm would be cheaper.
Yeah, the output increases from your machine.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I think thank you. Most of the queries are clear, and looks like there is a lot of scope in this sector, especially for bamboo. And
Yes, sir.
like I think your industry surroundings, you should actually tie up with the farmers for taking up plantations, so that you don't have to go very far to get the. But I just want to know, is there a size for the bamboo that you would want to be used? Should it have a particular thickness, or you
Nothing like that, sir. Nothing
harvest?
like that. Nothing like that.
Yeah, since you harvest, and of course you are going to powder and pelletize it, so it
Yes.
doesn't matter probably.
Yes.
And it is a normally mechanical harvest of a complete plant. It is not
Yes, sir.
selective harvest of
Yes, yes, sir.
culms or bamboos from each plant. So fine, agreed. Right, looks good. So of course you would have been at it, and you are also working with the State Bamboo Mission and all. So it's good that if you have tie up with local farmers and so that they are benefited and you are benefited, that would be fantastic. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Any more questions? Last opportunity. We have 5 more minutes to close. I guess no more questions. So thank you all. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentations and discussions. The Q&A session was really informative, and I once again thank all the speakers for contributing immensely to this participation. With this, we come to closure of today's session, and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks
Thanks
to
a
all
lot.
the speakers.
Thank you, sir.
A very useful session today. I'm sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm saying that I think many people will come forward. The people have been approaching us, so many people will come forward. Someone is actually they are already starting one at Polar, one group. So let's hope things will spread and improve. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend, all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.